All right. 5 ways to tell that you might have a narcissistic family member. Wow, work out. All right, let's chop it up. All right, so first way, every time you see this family member, they got something slick to say. You know, they're gaslighting you some type of way. You know what I mean? Like it's some type of gaslighting. You know, it's always something slick. You know, like you'll just see a Manel critique something on you. Something with the way that you're looking, or like no matter how good you have it going in the moment, they'll have something smart to say about what you're not doing, you know, which will lead you to some people. It'll make them think like, oh man, I need to reevaluate that. But like me, I think to myself, why are you taking time to think about what I got going on? Why are you thinking about all that? What you doing with yourself? So that's how I think, right? So that's the first way. The first way is normally that family member will have something slick to say to you every time they see you. It's something. Man, what's going on with them shoes? Laughing. Or hey man, what's what I'm saying? Like, take care of yourself a little bit more. Or hey man, I know you got a lot going on right now, but you need to be I know you got a lot going on right now, but you might want to take care of yourself a little bit more. I know it's like it's always something, right? To where they kind of try to throw you off. There's no reason to say it. There's no reason for them to be thinking about it, but they'll just say it. They'll just say it. They'll just do it. They don't care. You know what I mean? It's narcissism. You know what I mean? They don't see nothing wrong with it. That's just the way that they are, right? That's reason number 1. All right? Sign number 1. Sign number 2, always negative. They're always negative. I mean, this might not be a complete narcissistic just for people with narcissism, but they're always negative about something. Like they'll always be saying something negative about something. It don't matter what's going on great in the world or whatever, they'll find some reason to be negative about something. Like you don't want somebody around you that's manifesting that kind of negative energy. And if you think they're being negative about everything in the world, to include the weather and the rain, and if you don't think they're talking about you, you're crazy. They're being negative about you too. You're not around, okay? So like sign number 2 is like if a person, a family member or a close friend, family or a friend, close friend, that's like family, is always negative about something. This person is more than likely a covert, hidden narcissist right underneath your, you know what I'm saying? You ain't even knowing it. Right in your home, right next to you. So just be really careful about that, right? All right. Number 3. They seem competitive unnecessarily, like everything's a competition. Like it'll be this little sly little jabs, like hey man, you might want to get like me and da 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 woo woo, or like what I'm saying, like what's going on with you? Why you can't get your hair like? It's just like they'll just give you like just these slides, right? Sorry about that. That's like something bit me or something. Maybe that's a good sign, or probably a sign I need to be doing something different, right? But they're what else talking about? Competing with you. Yeah, man, they're just like really competitive for no reason. You know what I mean? Like they'll bring up things that you don't even think about. They'll bring up ways of thinking that you never thought. Like, oh yeah, you remember during this time when you was doing this? Yeah, I was thinking like, what? I wasn't even during that time, like 5 years ago, I wasn't even thinking about that. You thought about that? You still think about that? Like they'll just say like weird little things. You know what I mean? Competitive things like that. Like they're always analyzing everything you've done. It seems like throughout your life, and I guess critiquing it and comparing it to theirs. When you're not thinking about nobody else but yourself, you're just like living your whole life like a movie, and then these people are like watching your life like a movie and then comparing themselves to it, and then they'll jump in your little movie every now and again and say something to you like, hey, you remember what? Yeah, I remember thinking that you should have done it like this. And they're like, what are you talking about? That was years ago. Like, when did you think this? Why did you think that? Why are you thinking about what I'm doing like that, man? Like, what? It's off-putting a little bit. Get back to the weightlifting. Number 4 reason, right, or sign to tell that you might have a narcissist family member or friend. They're never really there for you. Now, when you're on top, it seems like they're there for you because they're calling and all that stuff. Well, they're a narcissist, so They got to know what you got going on so they can kind of copy you, figure out like how you're flowing, get a little bit of energy or whatever. But when they really think that you've been falling off, man, they're just talking about you and they ain't nowhere to be found if you need help. So don't even bother asking. They'll be nowhere to be found. And best believe they're talking like, man, I hope they don't come over here and ask me for help, or man, I hope I don't need to have to help them for anything. See, they don't think that you know this, but you know it. You can feel the energy on them because they start distancing themselves unnecessarily whenever they feel like you might need something. Whereas they're communicating with you regularly before, but whenever you're in a situation, all of a sudden that same person doesn't communicate with you the same. They start distancing themselves because they don't want to be bothered by you while you're in your moment of need. You can notice this, and when you notice it and you start applying that energy towards them, they can feel it, but they're a narcissist, so they're like, there's no way this person's smart enough to know that I really feel some type of way about them. There's no way. And they'll continue to do it. And you'll continue to watch this person's family member or this friend, close friend, just sit there and ride it out. Continue being the same way they are. Let them do it. Let them do it, man. All right. We're going to move on to the fifth, okay? The fifth way to tell that you have a family member or a close friend that is a hidden, covert narcissist is that they will try to turn family members around you against you, okay? Like, you'll just start noticing other family members start treating you different. And you know they're hanging out with that family member or whatever, you know, and they'll start treating you different. And then you'll be trying to figure out what you did to that one or what's going on. You don't really know where it's really stemming from, because these covert narcissists, they like to hide in the background of a lot of people. So like they don't want you to really, they want you to be kind of thinking that it's the person in front of you or maybe the one to the left of you, but it's really the covert narcissist behind all of them. You know what I mean? But see, I'm just that kind of technical thinker, because when people's patterns change, like I pay attention to patterns. You know, when you're a chosen one, you see the pattern, you see everything. And when someone's pattern changes on you, someone that you're normally interacting with and it's a good pattern, and the only difference is like they're, maybe you've spoken to someone, or this is how you test them, right? You go and you speak to whoever you think it is that might be this covert narc, and you say something to them about someone else, right? If that someone else starts acting strange, like they know what you said, then that means that that covert narc told them, and you caught them. You caught them red-handed, okay? And you do what you need to do, okay? You can blow it up, or you can just, I got you. I know now. And then you move accordingly, okay? So that's 5 ways to tell, or signs, that there's a covert narcissist in your family or a close friend. And this applies to friends too. I mean, any type of friend or relationship friend. You could have a friend that's, you know, smiling in your face. Woo-doo-woo. I mean, and they're always over the top when they're in your face. It's always like, oh man, you're looking good. Then they'll slide in that little jab though. There's always gonna be that little slick jab, you know, where it's like they're paying a little bit too much close attention to you. And you could think like, oh, if you're kind of naive, like, oh, maybe I am tripping. Or if you're like me, you're like, why are you thinking about that? Why? See, I'm not the one to be doing that with. You know what I mean? I'm completely trained. I'm a war veteran and I work for the White House. So my brain's working on both sides. I'm all about that war. You know what I mean? But I know how to move like those snakes do, you know, in the government. So it's not a good idea. You know what I mean? But I want to warn everyone else. I want everybody else to be on, you know, because there's some real genuine people out there that really deserve happiness, and happiness comes your way. But these narcs are all about draining that energy from you and anyone like you. And then they'll wonder why things don't work out for them. It's because your heart is not in the right place. You cannot get blessed when your heart genuinely is not centered right in the right place. And you always telling yourselves, narcs, you always do, because you'll be doing a good job of covering it up. But if you start digging, you know, start talking to them past 1 or 2 layers, you get about 3 layers deep, and that narc will say something that you be like, whoa, where'd that come from? Oh, seem like you hate men, or, you know what I'm saying? Well, where'd that come from? Like, that's real deep. You know what I mean? Like, I thought we were just talking. We're chopping it up. You know what I mean? It'll slip out. You know what I mean? Because the problem is when you lie, you know what I mean? The true you is going to slip out sometimes. And see, us, we don't lie like that. Our problem is we're too upfront with our business. We tell it too openly because we're open books. Nothing to hide. Like, why should I? Well, now you know, keep it to yourself, period. You're not hiding anything. You're just keeping your business to yourself because it's nobody else's business. All right? Word for the wise. Love y'all.